In bed, Curtis and Portia bask in the afterglow of making love and are committed to making their marriage work. At the hospital, two men from the New York State Office of Fraud have questions for Stella. Jordan, Felicia, and Isaiah jump to her aid, but Stella insists she'll answer their questions, and they head to a private room. Back at Curtis and Portia's, the doctor's phone rings, and Portia is shocked it's Jordan. She's then visibly annoyed when Jordan explains that Curtis's phone is off, and this is an emergency. She relays the situation regarding Stella to Curtis, who insists he'll be right there. Back at the hospital, Portia and Curtis arrive, and the co-chief of staff says she'll see what she can find out. At home in Hart, Brooke Lynn tells Flora she won't be the on-air spokesperson today, given Lucy's ambush last time. Flora spoke with Lois, and she senses they are both suffering. Brooke Lynn feels her mom should have told her everything when she first started thinking about finding her child, and she could have spared Gio so much pain. Plus, she might have been able to forge a relationship with him. Flora tells Brooke Lynn that she has no way of knowing how things with Gio would have played out, and she needs to figure out if there is enough love to rebuild her relationship with her mom. A producer then calls Flora to go over a pre-show rundown. Brooke Lynn thanks her for the talk. Maxie speaks with Martin and needs to know if she goes against her partner's wishes on a legal matter. Can they kick her out of deception? He says they can't force her out, but her personal and professional relationships with them may not survive. At Windermere, Lucy and Jens take to one of Port Charles's most dangerous spots, the parapet, after a private dinner. She wishes she could stay, but is needed in the Home and Heart studio to launch a new product. He promises to tune in, as he can't get enough of her. Because a home shopping special about cosmetics sounds like something Jens would watch. Marco arrives and watches as Sidwell gives Lucy a small kiss for luck. She runs off, and Sidwell explains Lucy will be on TV tonight, and he's looking forward to watching it. Marco wonders how close his father and Lucy have become. Back at home in Hart, Maxie tells Martin she wants him to arrange a meeting with the DA for her, but her colleagues can't know. He cautions against that. Lucy and Brooke Lynn appear, Martin takes off, and the women want to know what she was talking to Martin about. Before Maxie can say anything, a woman comes to nab Lucy to get her ready for TV. Brooke Lynn speaks with Maxie and is sorry she's bailing on being a host. Maxie understands, and Brooke Lynn says she's the best, and they embrace. Maxie is clearly concerned, hoping her friend always feels that way about her. Soon, Lucy and Maxie are welcomed on air by Flora to announce their new product, an entire youth truth line based on their patented serum. Maxie was handed a specific product to use on camera before they stepped onto the show. Not mysterious at all. Back at the hospital, Martin arrives, having been called by Felicia, and interrupts the meeting with Stella. He introduces himself as her attorney. The feds say he can't represent Mrs. Henry as he's a person of interest in their investigation, and they have questions for him too. At Sonny's, Turner listens from around the corner as Drew tells Sonny that unless he does what he wants, Michael will go to prison for assaulting him tonight, which means Willow will get her kids back. Drew orders him to convince Michael to allow Willow visitation rights, to sell his peers to Gen Z, and to get out of town. Sonny says Michael won't allow Willow to see the kids. Their well-being means more to him than his own. Drew says Michael lost it tonight, showing how violent he can be, and all he had to do was talk to Wiley for a second. Sonny goes into a rage, screaming, "You used my grandson to get to my son?" Sonny says this won't get him Willow back, as she knows what a loser he is. Drew asks if he's going to do what he wants, or if he'll let Michael go to prison. Sonny won't agree to anything and shows Drew the door. Turner emerges from hiding, stunned that Congressman Kane has just attempted to extort Sonny. He tells her not only did she get a good dinner tonight, but she got to know the real Drew Kane. Sonny quickly makes her realize she can't do anything with what she knows, as Drew would paint her as corrupt and claimed he bribed her. She tells him that he can't retaliate either. At Windermere, Jens admits to his son that he finds Lucy a wonderful and good-hearted person. Suddenly, Drew storms in to announce his supposed victory over Sonny. Drew tells him everything that went down tonight with Michael and Sonny, but Sidwell doesn't see what sending Michael to prison gets them. Drew says that Michael going to jail will get Willow her kids back. Sidwell argues that removing Michael removes any incentive Sonny has to work with them, and he will only retaliate, which is dangerous. At the Five Poppies, Britt and Jason lock eyes. Britt rushes to Pascal and pulls him aside. She loudly says she'll be in her room until the AC in the lab is fixed again, as she can't run the computer when it's that hot. She walks off, and Pascal gets back to Jason. In their room, Joss flashes back to shooting Cyrus right after firing at the assassin strangling Vaughn. The assassin goes down, and Vaughn tries to talk to him and ask who sent him. He can't speak as he was hit in the throat and is bleeding out. Vaughn searches him, then snuffs him out with a pillow. Vaughn says their cover is blown, and they have to get out of there. Joss suggests they can save the mission, and she can get Britt to talk to her about Dalton and his cold fusion work. Vaughn thinks they can probably buy themselves 24 hours, and they have to disappear the assassin by dumping him off the nearby cliffs. After dumping the body, Vaughn suggests to Joss, who had blood on her hands, that she get cleaned up while he updates Brennan. Elsewhere, Pascal leads Jason to the bar for some drinks and live music, while Britt returns to her room, stunned. At the hospital, Stella and Martin exit the interview, and she is shocked to see that Curtis and Portia are there. Martin asks if Stella has ever had this type of scrutiny before. She never has, and doesn't know why now. But it's obvious, Martin has his suspicions, and Drew has made himself another enemy. Portia lashes out at the two feds, demanding to know on what authority they have to question her staff, as the hospital does not know about any insurance claims investigation. When they say they answer to someone higher up, Curtis also appears suspicious. At Sonny's, Turner has a compassionate shift towards him, noting he's painted as a menace in the papers, but Drew was the one menacing him tonight. She knows Kane is likely the kind of politician who breaks all sorts of laws and promises Sonny she'll find a way to bring him down. Sonny thanks Justine. At Windermere, Drew vents that he'll have to find another way to deal with Sonny, but vows he will be the man to reunite Willow with her children. He leaves, and Marco notes to his father that Kane doesn't seem to be much of a use to them any longer. Sidwell believes that soon he'll be a liability. Hopefully, someone will try to unalive Drew, and soon. On TV, Maxie has to rein Lucy in from jabbering about the nurse's ball and her glamorous life, and relates their products to the everyday woman. She begins dabbing their new night mask onto her face to show how it works. That's when she appears to become dizzy and passes out. Is this what Sidwell was really watching for? At the Five Poppies, Vaughn knocks on the bathroom door as Joss sits fully clothed in the shower, reliving shooting the assassin and Cyrus. He enters, sits next to her in the stall, even kissing her hand before wrapping his arms around her. Finally, Britt lies in her bed when her door opens. She gets up, and Jason is standing there. Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th reveal that Maxie Jones will be rushed to GH, while Jason Morgan asks how Britt Westbourne survived. Carly Spencer will also blame Nina Reeves for Willow Tate's pain. So let's talk about what's ahead in Port Charles. First, Drew Kane will declare that he's been the victim of a crime and will try to get the ball rolling on Michael Corinthos's D's legal downfall. Meanwhile, Carly will have a fierce face-off with Nina. As things get heated, Carly will insist that everything Willow has lost is on her mother, so Nina will end up losing her temper and putting Carly on full blast. Over with Diane Miller, she'll meet with Michael and Sonny Corinthos to do some strategizing. Diane will acknowledge that Michael knew what he was doing when he decked Drew, so now she'll warn that it may cost him. However, ADA Justine Turner will have other plans now that she's seen another side of Drew. Justine will work to help Sonny and Michael by entering an alliance with Anna Devane, who'll be a little suspicious in the beginning. Anna will think this feels like a trap, but she'll ultimately agree to Justine's plan. Since Drew will unleash his fury within the next episode or two, Justine and Anna seem poised to sabotage his assault case. At the Five Poppies resort, Jocelyn Jax will find her strength again after getting the comfort she needs from Vaughn. We'll see Jocelyn focus on the mission again, so she'll remind Vaughn that Britt is their best lead. While Jocelyn and Vaughn figure out their next play, Jason will have some important questions for Britt, starting with how she survived Heather Weber's attack. It'll be interesting to see how much of the truth Britt's willing to share. Back in Port Charles, an ambulance will be called for Maxie now that she's collapsed on the Home and Heart set. Once Maxie's rushed to GH, Lucas Jones will leap into action and do whatever he can to save Maxie's life. It looks like Maxie may be the victim of some poisoned face cream, so this may be part of Jenzy Sidwell's plot to keep her quiet. If Maxie falls into a coma or winds up getting abducted from the hospital later, Sidwell can stop her from taking any evidence to the cops regarding Sunny and deception. General Hospital spoilers say Maxie's health crisis will leave all her loved ones rattled, so stay tuned on some shocking news. When Robert Scorpio's smile appeared on our General Hospital screens in July, fans were pleasantly surprised to see the beloved character played by Tristan Rogers on and off for 45 years. Those scenes on July 17th and 18th turned out to be the last time Rogers would embody his iconic character, a super spy, who caught the imaginations of soap fans everywhere since he first appeared in Port Charles in 1980. The actor passed away after a battle with cancer on August 15th. Since the day Little Robin entered Robert's life in 1985, his devotion as a dad took precedence over all else. Imagine his surprise last fall when he learned he had another daughter. It turned out Sasha Corbin was really Holly and Robert's never-before-heard-of daughter. But before they could get to know one another well, Robert and Holly were forced to leave town. When Sasha needed a safe place to stay after believing her infant daughter, Daisy, was being stalked, Jason escorted her to her parents' new remote home in France. Rogers made his final General Hospital appearance when Robert welcomed Sasha and Daisy. In poignant scenes, Robert thanked Jason for being there for Sasha, the way he was there for Robin years ago, after she first learned she was HIV positive. After Jason left, Sasha told Robert how happy she was to finally have a dad in her life, as Robert got to know his brand new granddaughter and daughter. You can see those scenes in the 2 videos below. In an Instagram post, Burton described what it was like to work with Rogers on that last day, and how he kept a positive spirit, despite suffering from lung cancer. Burton included a photo from that day, as well as one from many years ago. If you know General Hospital, you know Robert Scorpio. At Tristan Rogers 73, the man, the legend, the OG, Burton wrote, "I'm truly honored that I had the chance to work alongside Tristan on his very last day at work. Not only that, I got to spend real time with him, just making sure he was taken care of. You could see he was going through it, but the strength he showed to still be there, it spoke volumes. Most people in that situation might have said, 'Stay home, take care of yourself.' But for Tristan, at General Hospital was his home, and there was no place he would rather have been. Even though he wasn't feeling his best, he would joke around, still giving us a piece of who he was," Burton continued. "That's the mark of a true legend. Tristan, thank you for everything you did. You paved the way for guys like me. Rest easy, my friend. Your light and laughter live on." Mattson only got to work with Rogers for a short time, as they had rarely ever shared scenes together before Sasha learned that Robert was her father. Still, the scenes they did share meant so much to the actress. "Rest in peace, Tristan Rogers," Mattson wrote on Instagram. "I feel so incredibly fortunate to have gotten such an amazing TV dad, and I will always cherish the very heartwarming moments we got to share together." General Hospital spoilers update for Monday, August 18th reveals that Britt Westbourne will carry out a risky charade while Maxie Jones makes an emergency phone call. Jenzy Sidwell will also have a messy love life, so let's talk about what's ahead on the ABC soap. At Home and Heart, Maxie will send out an SOS to Martin Gray, who'll rush over for an urgent meeting. Since Maxie will seriously be considering going against the explicit wishes of her partners, she'll want to know if they can dump her at deception. Maxie might be willing to surrender the proof against Sunny Corinthos to the cops, which is a problem for Sidwell. It could result in Sidwell taking drastic action to neutralize Maxie, so some kidnapping drama may be in her future. Speaking of Sidwell, he'll be cagey when it comes to his true feelings for Lucy Coe. Although there's indeed a mutual attraction here, it'll be tough for Sidwell to get honest about what's happening between them. Over with Brooklyn Quartermain, she'll struggle with honesty as well. Brooke Lynn is still holding a grudge over Loa Cerullo's lies regarding Giovanni Gio Palmieri. But someone will think she's being too hard on her mom. That someone could be Flora Gardens, who had a long conversation with Lois before she headed back to Bensonhurst. Flora may talk to Brooke Lynn this time around and push her to fix her mother-daughter relationship with Lois. At Sonny's house, he'll react to Drew Kane's fierce threat. Drew will be willing to have Michael Corinthos tossed in a jail cell for assault if Sonny doesn't obey orders. Drew will hope to use this situation in Willow Tate's favor, but Sonny's going to be furious. Something tells us eavesdropping ADA Justine Turner may step out and surprise Sonny by putting Drew in his place. At GH, Jordan Ashford will witness Stella Henry landing in hot water, so it looks like she'll call Curtis Ashford and give him updates on the fraud investigation. Curtis will share alarming news with Portia Robinson and most likely rush over to the hospital soon after. Stella will get agitated over the interrogation she's about to face, and based on some other upcoming GH spoilers, she may have a medical crisis on the way as a result. In Dalmatia, Britt will order Jason Morgan to come with her immediately, so she'll try to drag him away from Pascal and offer an explanation. However, Britt will land in a jam and have to carry out a risky charade, so Jason may have to play along with the act she comes up with. Meanwhile, it looks like Jocelyn Jacks will successfully take down the man attacking Vaughn and leave him impressed. General Hospital spoilers say Vaughn and Jocelyn will team up on some other bold moves later during the week of August 1822, so don't miss all the action. General Hospital spoilers note that actor Ryan Paevey is returning to the Port Charles canvas. However, what hasn't been confirmed is whether or not he'll be reprising his much-beloved Detective Nathan West character. Deadline announced Paevey's splashing GH comeback, slated for September, and the actor was quoted as saying that he will be returning to the canvas for a while. In addition to telling fans about his extended new run, the actor added he believed if we're going to do this, we should really do it and surprise the fans with a meaty storyline. Paevey stepped into the role of Nathan West in 2013, a smart, charming, and handsome police officer who had an incredible romance with Maxie Jones. The two had a child together, James West, who steals every scene he's currently in, so it'll be interesting to see if Paevey reprises the role and Nathan is reunited with his son. It's also important to remind fans that much like the recently returned Dr. Britt Westbourne, his sister, Nathan, is also the offspring of César Faison and Liesel Obrecht, plus half-brother to Peter August. Nathan passed away in February 2018 when he was shot by Faison. As Nathan's demise was so final, it was hard for fans to ever imagine that Paevey would return. Although a video on his Instagram handle recently hinted that something big was on the horizon. In the video, Paevey noted that he had some news to share with fans soon, and he had all kinds of fun stuff coming up. Plus, during a recent Soap Opera Digest interview, General Hospital co-head writers Chris Van Etten and Elizabeth Court stated that Britt's comeback would spark a massive storyline that involved the Faison-Obrecht clan. Nathan has some real roots in the little town, and if he returned, he'd not only be reunited with Maxie, James, Liesel, and Britt, but also his best friend and partner, Dante Falconeri. And his cousin, Nina Reeves. General Hospital spoilers remind fans that characters in soaps pass away all the time, and despite even the most confirmed demises, always seem to figure out a way to return to the land of the living, so Nathan coming back to life is a very good possibility. However, Peter August pretending to be Nathan has good potential too. Jason as Scout's dad? Yes, please. Some General Hospital fans have a wild theory. Drew is not Scout's father, Jason is. Is this plain old wishful thinking? If we remember the history, Sam was never in love with Drew. She fell for him because she believed he was Jason. He had Jason's DNA and his memories, so who else could he be? It turns out that he could be Jason's long-lost twin. Susan Moore had 2 babies way back when. When Sam became pregnant and gave birth to Scout, she believed Jason was the father, and so did Drew because he thought that was who he was. When the real Jason returned, Drew became Drew, and he was Scout's dad. This was, of course, when he was a good guy. Confusing? It's about to get more confusing because some fans believe that because of this scenario, Jason should be the true father. Technically, poor Scout is cursed with Drew as her biological father. But, with some good old soap logic, there can be a case made that Jason is her true dad. When the truth about how evil Drew is comes out, he could possibly be declared an unfit father. Between the body shots, public fights, and alienating his daughter from the entire family, he's not exactly winning Father of the Year. The great Diane can make a case that Jason is Scout's dad because the DNA is the same, and everyone believed Drew was Jason at the time. Would this work in real life? Of course not, but this is Port Charles, where anything can happen. If this works, the whole town will rejoice. Scout can go back to living with her brothers, and all will be right with the world. What do you think of this idea? Let us know in the comments section. Also, on Tuesday's GH, Jason wants answers. Lucas works to save the life of someone dear to him. Joss and Vaughn plot their next move. In addition to Nina losing her cool and Anna making a cautious alliance, General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, August 19th, 25, will also focus on Jason wanting answers. Ever since Curtis told Willow about Nina sleeping with Drew, Nina's mindset has been pretty grim. She's on the outs with Willow, and she wants to help. But there's no way Willow will ever let that happen anytime soon. On Tuesday, Nina's mood goes from bad to worse when the Crimson owner loses her cool. What, or should we say who, triggers this reaction? It has to be Drew, right? Or maybe it has to do with her feelings of helplessness regarding her daughter. In other Port Charles news, look for Anna to make a cautious alliance. The questions become, who are the members of this alliance, and what is its goal? This must have something to do with Professor Dalton's shadiness in Port Charles and the action going down at Five Poppies in Croatia. What's interesting here is the use of the word cautious. This could mean the people involved in the alliance don't all get along, and so things may end up getting chaotic. If Jocelyn and Vaughn are plotting their next move, then Vaughn failed at getting Joss to go home. He was afraid her presence would compromise their recon and research since she knows Britt. But a stubborn Joss refuses to go anywhere. Instead, she thinks she can just stay in her room. Who here thinks she'll actually stay in the luxury hotel room? Meanwhile, Jason wants answers, most likely from Britt. And it's natural for Stone Cold to want to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth, starting from the day Britt went down to the hook killer. Will Britt indulge Jason and talk? Lucas works to save the life of someone dear to him. According to GH's weekly video preview, Maxie suddenly collapses at a taping of Home and Heart. So she's the one the doctor will do anything to save. What happened to her, and how bad is it? Considering that this must be how GH is writing Kirsten Storms out for the rest of the year, could Maxie end up in a coma? Or will the show go another way with this story? As for Lucas, little does he know that his boyfriend's father is probably the one behind Maxie going down. Lately, the doctor has been anti-Sunny for valid reasons, but he needs to stop ignoring the Sidwell factor and give Marco's dad the same energy that he gives Sunny. Rory Gibson has made the role of Michael his own. Rory Gibson has been playing Michael on General Hospital for a few months now. Taking over for another actor in an established role is never easy. But this transition has been practically seamless. Chad Duell played Michael for many years, and he was great in the role. Different actors have different styles, so it makes sense that Michael came back from Germany with a slightly different personality. He is softer now. The old Michael always seemed angry, even when he wasn't. Michael has shed many tears since his return, which we did not see often before. We could see how emotional he was when Daisy was born, when Sasha left, and when he deals with Willow. He also has a beautiful way with his son, Wiley. The Michael/Tracy alliance is new, and fans are loving it. The two actors truly connected on screen, and this may be the beginning of a beautiful friendship that wasn't shown previously. Michael has always been ruthless in business, and with his family, especially Sunny, when they made him angry. He had no qualms about cutting his dad off, and even trying to take him down a few years ago. This Michael may have a softer way about him, but there is a different, quieter kind of strength to him. He doesn't yell or fly off the handle, but do not make him angry. Nothing will set him off more than messing with his children, which is what Drew is doing. Uncle Drew told his nephew that his father is keeping him away from his mom. How can anyone play with a child's emotions like that? Michael had every right to punch him in the face like he did. It looks like Drew is underestimating this Michael. He may seem kind and emotional, but he is ready to take on this monster, and Aunt Tracy may be helping him do it. They make a formidable team. Are you loving the new Michael? Let us know in the comments section. Steve Burton, who plays Jason Morgan on General Hospital, recently shared his thoughts on the last scenes he filmed with the late Tristan Rogers. His message was all about his admiration for the 79-year-old actor, who certainly left a legacy in Port Charles. Steve Burton, of course, is not the only member of the daytime drama who remembered Tristan after his death this week. Nancy Lee Grahn was one of those who paid a special tribute with an anecdote from their early years of acting together. Finola Hughes also spoke about the passing of the iconic actor. On August 17th, Steve took to his Instagram profile and shared a photo of himself sitting next to Tristan. In his caption, he started off by writing, "If you know General Hospital, you know Robert Scorpio, at Tristan Rogers 73, the man, the legend, the OG." Next, the real-life Jason Morgan talked about their very last day of work together. He added, "I'm truly honored that I had the chance to work alongside Tristan on his very last day at work. Not only that, I got to spend real time with him, just making sure he was taken care of. You could see he was going through it, but the strength he showed to still be there, it spoke volumes." Everyone knows that these days, Steve spends a lot of time working on himself and helping others overcome life's challenges through mindfulness. And it seems he admired that mindset in his old friend and colleague. Steve Burton told his GH fans, "Most people in that situation might have said, 'Stay home, take care of yourself.' But for Tristan, General Hospital was his home, and there was no place he would rather have been." Even though Tristan knew it was his last hurrah as Robert Scorpio, Steve said, "He wasn't feeling his best. He would joke around, still giving us a piece of who he was. That's the mark of a true legend," he wrote, before ending with a grateful note saying, "Tristan, thank you for everything you did. You paved the way for guys like me. Rest easy, my friend. Your light and laughter live on." The scenes that were filmed for GH were especially poignant for fans of the ABC show who had heard about Tristan Rogers' cancer diagnosis. In the show, they saw that Jason Morgan took a jet with Sasha Corbin and her newborn daughter, Daisy, to get them to safety. The very long flight took them to Europe to be with Robert and Holly Sutton. When they arrived, Jason and Sasha saw that Robert was very frail. He didn't need to act the role, as he wasn't at all well. So, it was quite a heartbreaker for viewers. Many people flocked to have their say in the comments, including Finola Hughes, who told Steve that his memory was beautiful. Of course, fans of Port Charles also wanted to have their say. Here are a few of those memories and tributes. There's only so much that she can take, right? Of course, we are talking about General Hospital star Laura Wright, as there's some speculation suggesting that she might be a little tired of the latest storylines. Keep reading below for everything you need to know. Laura Wright has been in the daytime television industry long enough to know that both she and her characters are not always going to be a fan favorite. While there are certainly a lot of fans out there who will always remain loyal to Laura, she knows that her character hasn't always been the most liked person on the canvas. In fact, there have been many storylines in which she was the most controversial one. Not only that, but there have also been a lot of complaints from fans. That's because they've noticed that the writers like to keep Carly involved in almost every storyline, even when she's not necessarily needed at all. But for Laura, there's a good chance that she's noticed that there's been a lot of changes to Carly's personality lately. That's because she always seems to be so unhappy, and if not downright angry over many things that have been going on in Port Charles. Of course, the you-know-what is going to hit the fan when the truth comes out about her daughter Jocelyn's involvement in the WSB. That'll be even more of a reason for Carly to be upset, and unfortunately, display her rage in front of the cameras again. But is this something that Laura really wants to see for her character? Probably not. A lot of people would even agree that it's been a long time since we've seen a softer side to Carly, and it might be time for the writers to bring that side back. Now, as far as what's going to happen next for Carly in Port Charles remains to be seen. It goes without saying that GH fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. For now, drop us a line with your thoughts in our comments section below. And as always, come back right here for all the latest news and updates on your favorite celebs. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!